Hello, I'm Blackberry and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be explaining why Herb was right in the way that he treated Bojack in the episode The Telescope. Please, if you're willing to listen, sit back, grab some berries, and enjoy. I don't know if y'all can hear the excitement in my voice, but I have finally gotten to Bojack Horseman content. The other one, since my Diane video didn't do so well. How exciting! After I finished rewatching the show again, now I'm on to the character Herb. Herb is such a lovely character. He may not be a great audience, but he is honestly a great friend to have. Herb was the creator of Horsing Around, making Bojack his best friend, the main character of the show. However, he was kicked off as a writer and the creator by being caught doing public indecency with another man, which at the time, if I remember, they were in the 90s, it was as worse as murder, as people would be protesting outside of the show to have Herb kicked off. Herb knew, as his career as the creator and the writer of the show, he would be let go. He wanted Bojack to help him by threatening to leave if he was kicked off, but Bojack was gaslit into not doing it. The situation was tragic. It seemed like Herb wanted to end his life, but he picked himself up instead of going through with it. He donated to charities. He was overall a good person. After 20 years of Bojack not speaking to him because of his guilt, he finally called him because he found out that Herb had cancer, but it didn't go well. One thing I wanted to highlight about the situation is when Bojack tried to reconcile with Herb over what happened between them. They're growing apart. At the time, in my opinion, I think what Herb did was right. Bojack wasn't actually sorry. He wanted a clear conscience from his guilt. So he made it clear to Bojack that he does not forgive him. I understand that he was gaslight into not leaving, but it seems like he didn't even try and he just backed out. All he wanted to hear was, "I forgive you." But some people, or horses, doesn't even deserve that. He didn't call Herb after 20 years. Herb did not even care about the show after that. He only cared about his friend, and that's all Bojack was to him, was his best friend. And Bojack couldn't even do that one thing. Herb was even kind enough to call the other cast members of Horsing Around. He called Sarah Lynn, he called the other two that I can't remember the name because in my head they weren't that important. But yet, I'm hoping he tried to reach out to Bojack, but knowing Bojack, like when he did Diane in the episode, after Sarah Lynn's death, he probably continued to hang up because he felt guilt. And even if you feel that amount of guilt, you should have went out of your way to call your friend, but you couldn't even bother to do that. Bojack, after the show, became basically a diva. And in other words, he became a shitty person. He said rude things to Sarah Lynn. He slept with one of the show members' mom. He got Sarah Lynn into alcohol and got his hairdresser fired and blamed for the situation, even though it was his bottle of vodka that looked like water that Sarah Lynn got into because he started drinking on set. Yes, it was partially his hairdresser's fault, but at the end of the day, it was his fault. It was just awful. And Bojack wants to blame everybody else other than himself. One of the other characters I wanted to talk about that was right was Hollyhock. I'm glad she got away from Bojack after she found out what he did. And honestly, she was right to do so. Hollyhock was a product of his father, Bojack's father's, affair with the maid. So technically, she was Bojack's sister. In the beginning, she thought Bojack was her father, her actual father. But Hollyhock didn't need a father. And even if she did, Bojack is one of the worst at it. Bojack proceeded to have sexual intercourse in front of her, which is absolutely disgusting to do to your, even though she thought, even though it's not true, daughter. It's shitty. There's no way of putting it that it's not. And I like how caring Hollyhock was to even Beatrice, even though Beatrice is a bitch. She's an awful person, and I would have thrown her into a nursing home, a bad one that beats on the old people. She's really kind and she's really sweet. When she found out what Bojack did in New Mexico, leaving some teenage girl to nearly die from alcohol poisoning that he gave to them because ew. She even went out of her way to protect the young girls that were on campus. She did not want him anywhere near any type of girls because she learned about his disgusting behavior. And when she found out what he did with Sarah Lynn and all the other girls in and the other girl in New Mexico's, Penny's daughter, she put her foot down, wrote that dude a message, and cut him out of her life. That is absolutely the right thing to do, because would it be better to stay with someone that you know is harmful and could have any form of relapse? Because his words, not mine, that he was never going to change. Or would it be better to keep your distance and stay as far away from people like that as you possibly could? In my opinion, it's the high road. Staying away from people like that is the best solution. Hollyhock, Manhang Manite, Quack Duck, Fernando, Bark Bark, something something, did what she needed to do to protect herself, and did what she needed to do to make sure anybody don't get hurt by him like he did with other people. Honestly, Herb and Hollyhock may have had different situations and different types of way that Bojack have treated them, but Herb not giving him the satisfaction of erasing his guilt and Hollyhock not talking to Bojack ever again is the best solution that those two could have went through, and absolutely what Bojack deserved from Herb and Hollyhock. I really love the way the colors came out in this video, and while I'm here, I wanted to make it clear that I will be doing Twitch now. If y'all want to join me over there, it will be in my bio. If y'all like the video, please comment down below to tell me what you want me to do in the future, and have a lovely day filled with dozens of berries.